What's up, everybody? It's me, filmmaker boy. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite parts of filmmaking, which is editing, and how a simple edit can really inform people to the world that you're in. And no show has been doing this better, in my opinion, than The Boys Season 2, one of my favorite superhero shows. We talked about Umbrella Academy Season 2. We had to talk about this one. Come on. Chef's kiss, it's so good. The first episode perfectly gets us back into the world of The Boys by using one of my favorite techniques, which is juxtaposition of tone. What is juxtaposition of tone? This three-syllable word? What is this, Encyclopedia Britannica? And how can you use it in your own work? Well, to find out, why don't you hit that like, smash that subscribe, ring that bell icon, stay tuned. And spoilers, there's a couple minor ones. Go watch first season now, please. So juxtaposition is something that you can use in any art form, really. By definition, it's the fact of putting two things close together so that they have a contrasting effect. And we see this in the first few scenes of The Boys Season 2 with juxtaposing tones. And tone is the character or attitude of a place, situation, piece of art, all of those things. It's really how you feel about what's being presented. So juxtaposition of tone is when you're putting two tones or characteristics or attitudes of a scene together to compare them. And the first few shots of Season 2 do that super well. The first shot of the show is in a boardroom where people...
I'm gonna move on.
Alan hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I already said spoilers.
Well, I don't want to listen to it.
Or superheroes don't have to deal with this kind of thing.
I don't care.
He's just gonna be
You
in the
can
back.
do your thing.
So the first shot is a boring boardroom scene where people are just getting their lunch orders, but that's juxtaposed and intercut with Black Noir on a mission, which we've never seen before, so it's like really exciting and engaging. In both of these situations show something that The Boys is prided on, which is realism. The show is known for the phrase that, what if superheroes were real? But in my opinion, it's more about this heightened reality that superheroes are in, but with more realistic elements in it. More things from our world, which make this a less happy-go-lucky and fun superhero world to a horrific and terrifying and more realistic world. So when you start thinking of that premise, what if superheroes were real, you start to think of a couple other elements, like how would they fight terrorism, or what would a board meeting look like? And that's what they're showing us in the first couple shots of the second season. But by showing these things back to back, we see this heightened realistic scenario that's juxtaposed by its tone. One is prim and proper people in a boardroom where there's no real danger, but they're talking about potential casualties if a superhero was to be in the military. And then we actually see that with Black Noir in the field, doing an actual mission and showing us the potential casualties that are probably gonna happen. So by putting these two scenes together, we realize that they're two sides of the same coin. And another movie accomplished this way back in 1972, which was, of course, The Godfather. Near the end of the film, we see Michael Corleone is named the Godfather in two different ways. We're first showed the killings that he's commanding for any enemy against his family, while also showing him renouncing Satan at a baptism. So one solidifies him as a Christian godfather, while the other one solidifies him as a mafia godfather. So both juxtaposing a literal baptism and sin, showing that up front he's a good-hearted Christian man, while behind the scenes he's less than a saint. And we have the same thing in The Boys. Stan Edgars is talking about involving soups in foreign affairs, while Black Noir is involved in foreign affairs. So they're both achieving the same goal, one with pad and paper, the other one with good old-fashioned murder. And then the episode goes on to show the juxtaposition between truth and lies. We go from a really real scene of what an actual board meeting looks like and slaughter in the field to a superhero's funeral. And the scene is nothing but lies, propping up this superhero's death to justify fighting super terrorists. So we trade the real world of fighting and negotiating for this fake world of like showboating and trying to make your brand look good to the public. And using Black Noir and Homelander is perfect, because they're both a perfect juxtaposition of each other. Every time we see Black Noir, he's usually doing something that we agree with, more or less, or at least he's not terrible. While every time Homelander's on the screen, you're just waiting for something terrible to happen. Just this toxic, immature narcissist with the powers of a god. But then after that lying, we move on to Starlight, who's lying in her own way by singing this tribute song to the superhero that sounds hilarious.
Protecting us from evil, you rose above the rest.
So we see that she's trying to play nice with Vought, and she goes on to go outside of the event and talk with everybody and ends up saying that Homelander made them like a family, and we realize she's really just bullshit.
Uh-oh.
And we see this.
Are you done?
Oh my
Stinky.
God! You scared me! You legitimately scared me. So we see all of this wholesome lying is juxtaposed by our protagonist, Huey, who's not having a great time. He's living in this dingy basement somewhere in New York City with his friends that survived the last season of The Boys. And then we start to cross-cut between both Starlight and Huey getting ready to meet each other, and Starlight kind of dressing down while Huey's dressing up, juxtaposing their two different situations. While Starlight's living in wealth and comfort and fortune, while Huey's definitely not. And all of this is playing out while the song Pressure by Billy Joel is playing in the background, which makes you feel a little anxious and makes you realize that they're both really stressed out right now. One for the reason of playing this facade of being super amazing Starlight, while the other one living in fear for his life. And that makes us feel a little bit stressed. So as they're walking, you start to get this anxiety about what's going on. So at this point, the show has presented us the 4 major scenes that we'll be seeing for the rest of the season, which are the bureaucratic deals that they're making for the superheroes, the gory, terrifying nature of actually fighting a superhero, the bullshit that all of the superheroes are peddling to the public, and the real world that all of these people live in outside of this like comic book reality. And all of this within the first 15 minutes of the season. And I know we've already seen a lot of this during season 1, but the good thing about this is by showing us all 4 of those scenes that we're already used to, it's easy for us to work our way back into the world of The Boys during the first 15 minutes of the season. So we're ready for all of the horrible stuff that goes on. Like, oh my, man, I really like season 2 so far. As of right now, I've only seen the first 3 episodes, but it's getting pretty good. So those were my thoughts on, Alan, I'm done. Alan, we're done.
Sorry, I was doing something more interesting.
Oh, were you? Oh, thanks.
I don't mean
I'm
it.
gonna kill you with my laser eyes.
I don't mean it.
I'm gonna pull a Boys on you and kill you. So those are my thoughts on the first few scenes of The Boys Season 2 and Juxtaposition of Tone. So hopefully now you know how to use that in your own work and how to edit a pretty good opening to a season. I don't know how often you gotta do that, but now you can. And if you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Consider subscribing, hit that bell icon. If you did enjoy this episode, we did another one about the Umbrella Academy Season 2. Very similar, but a completely different way to start a season. So you might enjoy that one. And we've been streaming recently, so please feel free to join us on Wednesday evenings. If not, we're trying to do it even more because we've been having a great time. So you play with your friends online. No, oh no. And on that note, I'm gonna get back to my
Watch more videos.
I swear to God.
Watch a tutorial.
You know what?